Chapter 15 The Thought of Buying a Car. Chen Hao heard the voice and turned around. He saw a beautiful, tall girl with skin as white as snow standing in front of him. She was dressed in skinny denim cropped pants, a t-shirt and a pair of high heels. She was crossing her arms and looking at Chen Hao disdainfully. "Chen Hao, you really are something, aren't you? You actually bought a 300,000 luxury item while clinging on to the student subsidies provided by our department. Let me tell you, based on this matter alone, you can forget all about the student subsidies this year," she coldly stated. Jiang Weiwei, the shopping card was given to Chen Hao by those people as a way of thanking him for saving their daughter. "What reasons do you have to cancel Chen Hao's student subsidy? Don't think you are so high and mighty just because you are the president of the student council." Dorm leader, Yang Hui, couldn't help but utter those words when he saw the girl with the ice-cold aura in front of him. "This is none of your business. The applications for Chen Hao's student subsidy are provided by our student council every year." That was because he was an honest person. But now, he actually bought a 300,000 bag. Currently, everybody in the entire department, even the entire campus, knows that there is a big idiot in our department. He tainted our department's reputation. His student subsidies can be cancelled based on this offense alone. Jiang Weiwei looked at Chen Hao in disgust. Obviously, after Han Siyu's live streaming last night, nearly everyone in the campus knew that he had bought the bag. In addition to that, she was president of the student council, and she happened to be one of the few female presidents in the entire campus. She came from a well-to-do family and was a very sociable person. She was quite close to most of the rich and powerful students in her department, and the entire campus. She was even close to the lecturers from different departments. She had the classic big sister personality, hence, she looked down upon losers like Chen Hao who did not have the money nor the power. However, Chen Hao had a special characteristic. That was, he was quite an obedient person. In the past, Jiang Weiwei often used the student subsidy as leverage to order Chen Hao around, while the rest of the poor students slogged away like slaves to provide free labor to Jiang Weiwei. This was the reason why Yang Hui did not see eye to eye with Jiang Weiwei. "Chen Hao, what should we do about this?" Jiang Weiwei crossed her arms and looked at him haughtily. Chen Hao frowned. To be honest, he did not need the student subsidies anymore. But the bottom line was, although Jiang Weiwei looked down upon him and bullied him, the student subsidies he received in the past did indeed come from her. Chen Hao asked, "What do you want?" What do I want? If you want to continue receiving the student subsidies, you have to do one more thing for me. As for smearing our department's reputation, I can put that behind us." Jiang Weiwei was talking about the incident whereby Chen Hao was called an idiot for buying that bag. When Jiang Weiwei recalled it, she felt so much hatred. Firstly, she hated how this poor loser got so lucky that he was given that VIP shopping card. Secondly, she hated the fact that Chen Hao actually gave away a 360,000 bag as a birthday gift to another person, a freaking 360,000. If he gave it to her, then wouldn't that boost her ego? However, Chen Hao did not even try to please her. "Then fine, let's see how you live without your student subsidies, idiot," Jiang Weiwei scolded in her heart. "What do you want me to do?" On the other hand, Chen Hao looked indifferent. "Simple. Next week our department will be organizing a huge event. The venue needs tidying up, so you can go and sweep the entire venue. Then, I can continue to help you apply for your student subsidies. I have already gotten a permit for you to leave the class, so you don't have to go for your morning lectures today. Don't say I didn't take care of you." Jiang Weiwei threw the permit at Chen Hao for him to bring along. Then, she gave him a slight glance, turned on her heels and walked away. "Damn it, this woman really knows how to push people around," Yang Hui scolded. His roommate Leroy was also angered by her. "Hao, don't be scared. You don't have to go there. Do you know how big the venue is? How could she let you clean up that place? Let's go to class." He gave Chen Hao a pat on his shoulders. But if he doesn't go, what will happen to his student subsidies? His friends started to get worried. Finally, Yang Hui clapped his hands and said, "It's alright, let us all go to the venue and help Hao with the cleanup." "Alright, that is a good idea." His roommates nodded their heads. There was a warm feeling in Chen Hao's heart. It was true. This was the reason why Chen Hao still remained optimistic although he had been humiliated so many times in college for the past 3 years. Because of his poverty, he had gotten to know some really good friends who were like brothers to him, brothers who sincerely cared about him. However, how could he allow them to bear the punishment with him? To be honest, Chen Hao really wanted to tell them that he was actually a rich second-generation heir. However, Chen Hao did not know whether his friendship with them would last if he were to tell them about this. Because in his heart, this friendship was the real treasure. "It's okay guys, I will go by myself. It's not the first time I've cleaned up a big venue. You are not as skilled as I am so you might cause me more trouble instead." After thinking about it, Chen Hao decided to keep his identity a secret temporarily, so, he answered their suggestions in a joking manner. After uttering those words, he walked toward the venue. Chen Hao, why are you late? Who do you think you are? Do you think that you are so high and mighty just because you bought that bag? The moment Chen Hao stepped into the venue, he heard Jiang Weiwei's cold voice, which was full of contempt. The guys and girls who were rehearsing there broke into peals of laughter when they heard the remark, because there was an event next week. The department's performance team, led by Jiang Weiwei, was rehearsing. Don't put it that way. After all, how could we compare ourselves to the person who spent 360,000 to buy a bag? You're right, you better be careful of what you say, President. Chen Hao will use his money to slap you in the face until you start crying in the future. A group of girls snickered while looking in the direction of Chen Hao. On the other hand, the guys continued to mock Chen Hao in a roundabout way. Their eyes were full of ridicule. They were actually jealous of Chen Hao's luck. If they were to receive 360,000, then they would have been able to buy the bag and get the president, Jiang Weiwei, into their beds. Chen Hao ignored them as he did not wish to say anything. At that moment, just when he was preparing to sweep up the mess they left behind, a tall guy walked over and pushed Chen Hao away roughly. Scram, don't block my way. Did you really think you were AF king rich person? What an idiot. Chen Hao nearly fell down. His name was Wang Yang. Chen Hao obviously knew him. He was the vice president of the student council and the leader of the basketball team. His family was in the trading business and he was super rich. He had ridiculed Chen Hao many times in the past. Wang Yang, why are you late? Jiang Weiwei initially looked cold. But after seeing Wang Yang, she didn't look displeased. This was because Jiang Weiwei really liked Wang Yang's rugged style. He was tall and handsome and good at basketball. Apart from that, his family was rich. It wasn't hard for him to get a girl's attention. At the same time, the girls who were in the performing arts group looked at Wang Yang with desire. Oh, don't mention it already. This morning I went to modify my car. Wang Yang unscrewed the cap of the mineral water and took a sip. Car? You bought a car? Some of the girls asked in surprise. It's just an A6 Audi model. I only use it for practice. Wang Yang laughed heartily. Wow, all the girls were envious. Even Jiang Weiwei, who had high expectations, was slightly moved. Is it a domestic car or an imported one? Actually, it did not matter whether it was domestic or imported, it was already very awesome. It's an imported car. Thanks to my father's friend, it was sold at approximately 100,000 less than the original price. Haha. Wang Yang smiled lightly. At this moment, even Jiang Weiwei looked impressed. Chen Hao was sweeping the floor. When he heard that Wang Yang had bought a car, he couldn't help but listen to the conversation. In fact, it had always been a small dream of Chen Hao to buy a car. It did not matter what type of car it was, as long as it was a car. Why was it a dream? Because before this, Chen Hao's dreams of buying a car could only remain a dream. Hence, he was curiously listening to their conversation. Of course, he was not paying attention to what he was doing at that moment. He did not know that he was actually sweeping the broom under a girl's skirt. She happened to be sitting below the rostrum, until the girl gave a piercing scream.